Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative. We are here speaking to Ryan Chesley, a defenseman playing for the national team USA National Team Development Program, going to University of Minnesota next year. This is one of our NHL draft specials, 2022 NHL draft special, where players are going to have a chance to get their name called one step closer to the NHL. Ryan, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's pretty crazy because I feel like, you know, you play a season, you are part of a very good program of a lot of amazing players, and then you snap your fingers and you're going to have a chance to potentially, be drafted in the National Hockey League. It's a lot. How do you process it? Do you just not think about it much?
Yeah, honestly, I try not to think about it too much. Just kind of go out and live my life, play hockey, and just have fun with it. I don't try to think about too much, not too much pressure on myself.
Absolutely. You've committed to University of Minnesota for next year. NCAA obviously was something probably in the back of your mind going to school. What was the process like, choosing where you're going to go and being a Gopher and everything? What was that like for you and your family?
It was tough. I mean, I was looking at a bunch of different schools, obviously a ton of good schools out there. Just finally got it narrowed down to a few schools, and then Minnesota I thought would be right for me. So I think it's gonna be a really good year, and I'm really excited.
Absolutely. You're one of the things that people say about your scouting and your draft kind of analysis and everything is you're a very good skater, you're a puck moving defenseman and everything. You look at a lot of defensemen doing amazing things now in the National Hockey League that are offensive defensemen like Adam Fox, Cale Makar. Does that kind of excite you a little bit, knowing that you can kind of provide a game like that at times, or do you not really think about things like that?
Yeah, a little bit when I think about it, for sure. It's exciting, especially watching what those guys did in the playoffs, especially Makar. It's pretty unbelievable. So yeah, it's cool.
Is it one of those things too, where if that's not kind of like his route, playing in the AHL, then going and playing NCAA, I mean, and then already becoming like a Conn Smythe winner, I feel like that's a good, good kind of route to take, right? I mean?
For sure. Yeah, really
Absolutely. Good. No, it's really amazing and everything as well. It's interesting because I always find the National Team Development Program so awesome, so cool, because you play with the same guys all the time, and this can lead to, national tournaments, the World Juniors and everything, and you play other teams as well. It is a unique situation, right, where you're playing with the same guys every year. What's that like? What's your experience been like with the National Team Development Program specifically?
Yeah, it's super unique. Obviously, it's a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's really awesome being with the guys for 2 years. You don't really have that very often. So getting to know those guys and kind of creating that bond together was really special.
You provide a certain kind of skill set, and there's a lot of things that a lot of, your coaches enjoy about Ryan Chesley's game as a defenseman. A lot of teams that are looking to kind of draft you the same as everything. It's a lot of adapting to situations. You might play a game that you play now at the National Team Development Program that you might have to kind of adapt or change your game a little bit to play with the Gophers or the National Hockey League. And I feel like that's something that might not be easy for people just to adapt and play a role. Have you thought about that at all, or is it kind of still a little bit premature?
A little bit, yeah, I've thought about it. I think the good thing about me is that I'm a really versatile player. I think I can play in a lot of different situations, a lot of different roles. So I think it'll help me going through the future.
Absolutely. We do a lot of pop culture interviews on Popternative as well. So I got to ask you, there's been a lot with the pandemic. There's been a lot of, playing, quarantining, going back and playing. So there's a lot of like TV show watching and movie watching. What have you been watching lately? Any show that comes to mind?
Well, lately it's been Stranger Things. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are watching that. Just waiting for those new episodes to come out and gonna watch those. But yeah, I've been really into that.
We've done a lot of well, I can't wait for volume 2. There's so many questions. We've done a bunch of interviews actually. We've interviewed Gabrielle Pizzolo, who plays Susie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we interviewed her. It was really cool because that was the best, right? Like she was in season 3 and did the whole never ending story thing of Dustin, and then season 4, volume 1, and we we're introduced to her like family and everything, and that was like my favorite.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No, there's so many kind of things. Yeah, I feel like I should. The Stranger Things is an obvious one and everything. Do you enjoy? It's interesting because you're an athlete and everything. There's a lot of shows about sports that are not really like they're like about a sport. Like Ted Lasso is like about football and soccer, but it's about life and other things as well. Have you watched Ted Lasso yet on Apple TV Plus?
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. Do you feel like it's interesting, right? Because like. Maybe even hockey, because there's some hockey shows here and there. Shorzy on Hulu, the Letterkenny spinoff, which is all about hockey. Is it because like hockey is your whole is a big part of your life and everything? Do you feel like you kind of take a break from watching like sports stuff because like you're just consumed in it a lot and you want to watch like Stranger Things? Does that come to mind at all? I feel like that. I feel like you're always consumed with sports and hockey.
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously I still watch some sports shows or movies, but yeah, I tend to get away from those too. I love watching. I'm more of a movie guy than shows. Okay. So I watch a ton of movies, kind of every genre I like.
What any good movies you've watched recently?
The new Top Gun movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did an interview with Greg Tarzan Davis, who plays Coyote in that. We did an interview with him. Yeah. It was, it's so crazy because I remember because the pandemic, you have to understand, Ryan, halted a lot of releases. Like I remember that they were waiting for that movie to come out for like 4 years and everything. Yeah, you went to go see that in the theaters?
Yeah.
Was that one of your first? Did you go to the theaters here and there in the pandemic with a mask and everything? Or was that one of your first movie back in a while?
It wasn't one of my first, but I didn't go during the pandemic. I just waited till everything was over, and then I ventured out and went to the theaters. But yeah, I've been to a few.
Yeah, they're saying like that movie is like saving the movie theaters because there's been here and there some movies like it's pretty funny to have that like that title, right? The movie that saved the theaters. No, absolutely, it's pretty crazy. On ice, you have a job, obviously. You have a job to do your best to kind of play your game, help your team to win. That's kind of goes without saying. Off the ice, though, there's going to be some things, especially in your pro career, Ryan, where you're going to have to do interviews. You're going to have to do community events. You're going to have to do a lot of things. There's an on-ice job and there's an off-ice job. Have you thought about that at all, that there's also an off-ice job, doing interviews, giving back to your community? Are you preparing yourself a little bit for that scenario down the road?
Little bit, yeah. I think that's just gonna come naturally for me. I feel like I'm a really like outgoing guy, so I feel like I'm not really gonna have to prepare for that. Just kind of go about my day doing my thing, and all that's just gonna come easy.
You are going to Montreal, I'm assuming, for the NHL draft?
Yeah.
You and your family are gonna go down?
Yep.
Have you ever been to Montreal?
I haven't, no.
Are you doing like what they usually do? Like, are you going like a couple days? Like, are you going like a week before and then just staying?
I'm going a couple days early. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you're good. Absolutely. Yeah. Has it hit you that it's like soon?
A little bit. I know. I kind of every day I think about it a little bit. And it's like, wow, like it's crazy. It's coming up real soon. So yeah, I try not to think about it too much, but it gets to me for sure.
Last question before we wrap up quickly, the team that drafts you in the National Hockey League, what player are they getting when they draft Ryan Chesley?
I think they're just getting a really hardworking, trustworthy defenseman who can kind of play in any situation, and a guy who loves to win and play the game.
Absolutely. Ryan, it was great chatting with you. Thank you for taking some time to come on Popternative. I really appreciate chatting with you.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Instagram, do you have an Instagram account, Ryan Chesley, where they can follow as well?
Yeah. Yep. It's just Ryan Chesley.
Absolutely. No, this has been great. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Till next time, this is Ryan Chesley from the USA National Team Development Program and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.